Hi, this is Nikki, and I'm here to share the messages I get from Spirit and from all of our higher selves who are on this journey to love. And so I want to share a message that has come through from someone's healing that I did yesterday. And then in the beautiful way that we are so connected, I did a letter for a lady that also has a YouTube channel. And she sent me a recommendation from a lady who is a hypnotist, and she does quantum healing, and she hypnotized people to a life, basically the new earth, and what they call life after the event. And so I'm going to put the link to the video into the description box, and I would really, really, really encourage everyone to watch that video because it explains exactly so many pieces of the jigsaw puzzle. Because there are so many things in that video. If you are a member of the crystal grid that I do, it's all based around the forest lovers who are entwined together for eternity around the oak tree. And I use crystals in my healing, and I also first of all, I'm gonna recommend you read that, because the messages in those videos, she hypnotizes two separate people miles away from each other in a completely different, totally unrelated people. But they both describe virtually exactly the same experience, surroundings, and being with their twin flame. Now, the really amazing thing in that was that so many of the things that they were describing is what I've experienced with my twin when we're looking, basically, I guess it's when you're visualizing and when you see your twin spirit, I guess it's when you're bridging the gap between what we are now and what we're going to be. But in these videos, it basically says they're describing their surroundings, but they very specifically describe about crystals, about the oak tree, and also about how their bodies look different, but they're still the same body. And that's exactly what I see with me and my twin. And I've always had the guidance that your DNA, when you come together, the DNA will just change and you will change physically, but you'll still be you. It's just like you're the version that you want to be of yourself, kind of thing. And I've always thought, what? That's so crazy. I mean, that's a bit kind of like far-fetched, right? But anyway, they are describing exactly that. And they also describe what it looks like. And also they describe the timeline, and they say, I think it happened in 2018 and now we're in 2019, because of course they are hypnotized. So it is really, really interesting. And also pretty amazing, because it validates so much of what probably every single one of us are doing and, have experienced, and all of these like crazy things that we experience. But especially the way they use the crystals to communicate, because for me, as soon as I put the crystals, when I do people's healings, I lie down and I place crystals on me. And it's like as soon as I place the crystals, I put a butterfly crystal on my third eye. And as soon as I do that, it's almost like that's how the connection happens. And so when I was listening to this video and they were describing that they basically use crystals like telephones, I was like, oh my God, that's exactly what I do. So it was fascinating. So I would highly, highly recommend you watch it. It's by Alison Coe. The other thing is that the lady who sent it to me, for all of those people that have letters from me and they say, but this, is this really real? Because it's so amazing. It's what I feel from him, but I don't know, because I don't see anything in the 3D. So the lady confirmed back, because she actually heard from her twin that day. And he was in a relationship with someone else, and, she was just a bit like, what's going on kind of thing. And so the letter confirmed exactly what was going on. And then he actually telephoned her that day and again confirmed everything that had come through in the letter. So I just thought I'd share it because I know that there is that, of course, doubts come in again and people think, is that really, that's so amazing? Did they really think that? And da-da. And so it just shows that, yes, it does. It filters through down from their soul self to their 3D self, to their physical self, and it will come to you at the right time for you. Now, the other thing is I'm going to share a healing because it's quite amazing how everything, again, jigsaw pieces slotting into place. I did a healing for a lady yesterday, and what I saw was, first of all, and now it makes perfect sense after somebody else sent me the video overnight. Okay, so I saw, first of all, a road drill drilling into the earth. And then after that, I saw her twin cycling into the desert on a bike. And then after that, I saw an earthquake. And I saw them in that lifetime in Italy, in Pompeii, which has been, a recurring thing. I think a lot of us have been in Pompeii and Italy and have past lives there. So, but I couldn't really, but the key thing is that I heard that the healing gave them, the wording was something like a blanket of love. And it was very specific because I wrote it in their healing, because that's what I heard, a blanket of love. Now it makes perfect sense because in the video this morning that I'm going to reference, the Alice & Co video, they talk about a blanket of love. That basically this new earth that we're moving into is essentially love. And that it's quite amazing that you can step between the dimensions, between, this earthly reality and then into this new dimension of love. And so it was quite amazing that they actually used that same term, blanket of love, that had come through in the person's healing yesterday. The other thing is, which really, really made me smile, was in the first letter that I channeled for somebody who asked for a letter from their guides, it was really specific about saying, visualize yourself like the roots of a tree, sending love into the universe, out of your fingertips and out of your feet. And then this is one of the love mantras that I do. And it is, I am the root of the tree that feeds the universe with love. Well, when you watch the video about this hypnosis and the new earth, and that is exactly what they say. There is a part of the hypnosis where the person that's been hypnotized is seeing his twin walk along the beach, I think it is. And he can see that her feet are lit up. And she says to him, I'll tell you about that later. And that's why it is so amazing. Because it feels like a really significant thing that suddenly all of these pieces have come together. Because the other thing is that lots of huge emotions coming up. And it's all about touching with nature and really grounding that, intentfully saying, I am grounding the new love onto this earth and anchoring it in. And whichever places that you're drawn to go to actively, anchor in new love onto, and the new earth onto the planet. And that's what we're here to do as twin flames. And the thing is that my grandpa died a couple of days ago. So I am actually walking a 98 miles this week in his honor. Because it's all quite complicated, but he's on my dad's side. I'm estranged from my dad because he walked out from my mum. And again, it's all, I can see why everything happens. He walked out from my mum with just leaving a letter on the kitchen table. And that was it, basically, just gone after 43 years of marriage. And so it's all quite complicated, and it means that we don't feel right going to the funeral. So what I'm going to do is honor him by walking 98 miles this week. And when I've been walking, I have been setting that intent about grounding love onto the planet. So I was like, okay, well, I totally know why all these events are lined up this particular week. Because again, it now makes so much sense. And equally, those walks have been very emotional, like so many tears being shed. But I can understand why, because of course we are moving, and you know who knows about this event and the timing of it, but you know, we are having to make way for more light and love energy, and therefore we need to shed those tears to make room. And I, for one, have definitely been doing that. And of course, so that's why. So I would highly, highly, highly recommend you watch that video. I cannot recommend it enough, because it really is quite amazing. Two completely separate people, completely different months, under hypnosis, talking about the new earth, talking about crystals, the tree. They even mentioned the oak tree. They even mentioned the blanket of love, which came through in the person's healing yesterday, which I was just like, whoa, that's so cool. The other thing is that when I saw them like drilling into the earth, the road worker, and at the time I couldn't understand what that was about, but now I absolutely understand. It is symbolizing that we are breaking through that hard barrier of emotion that we've probably shielded ourselves in, to get into the real flow of emotion, right? That's why I saw the lava afterwards through the hard crust of the earth. But equally, that also is very symbolizing exactly what is happening with the new earth. As twin flames, we are grounding this love into the planet. And what do we have to do in order to ground love? We have to break through that shell of the emotions that we've stored up around us that have kept us not living in the purest vibration of love, right? Which is definitely what I've been doing this week. Definitely what I can see, loads of events coming up to the surface this week. You know, this is like 5-year cycle, basically. I can see that things coming up. This and also with my twin, because my dad left at the exact same time that I went into separation with my twin, which kicked off a series of events, which meant that basically I went crazy. And so I can see that it's like a 5-year cycle that is culminating now, to be released now this week. Hence why I can see the universe has made it happen that I'm doing a 98-mile walk this week. So there you go. So if you are experiencing that, then it's because you're imagine yourself as the road worker drilling through that hard crust to allow the earthquake to come up. Because after I saw that in the earthquake, I saw this amazing green blanket in the healing, and that's exactly what they're describing as well in this video. So quite amazing. I feel like it's really significant. So I would definitely watch that video, because it's in the top of the description box that I've put here. If you want to have a letter, if you want to have a reading or a healing, please do. All details are in the link. And all I can say is, if you're feeling super emotional this week, then get out and go and hug a tree, and hug as many as you can, and consciously feed the universe with your love. All right, I hope that helps. Take care. Bye.